Let us go back to a time of simple games, where the goal was to get your wagon from Independence, Missouri to Oregon City, Oregon. Along the way, you will cross rivers, hunt, visit forts, and break down. What game is it? It's the Oregon Trail, developed in 1971 by a group of developers and produced by MEC, or the Minnesota Educational Computing Consortium, beginning in 1975. It's a computer game that was developed to teach school children about pioneer life in the 19th century. You start out in 1847 in Independence, where you will name the people in your group, pick the time of year to leave, and then proceed to purchase supplies. What you buy here is important and can make or break your trip. You can purchase items along the way, but they tend to become more costly. After your shopping trip, you're ready to hit the trail. So now we are on our way. The screen shows the various statuses, the important ones being health and food. Your food supply diminishes quickly, so keep an eye on that. Throughout the game, you will come to rivers that you have to cross. It will tell you how wide the river is and how deep. It will give you a choice to ford the river, which involves having your oxen just walk across it, or you can caulk the wagon, that involves sealing it up and floating across the river, or you can use a ferry for a fee. So let's try this. At 8 foot 8 deep, let's ford it and see what happens. I figured that would happen since the oxen are not 8 feet tall. Doing so, we paid a price. We lost a lot of supplies, and only us and one other survived. At this point, we can't even move along anymore since all of our oxen are dead. We can try and trade with other travelers, but we don't have enough items that they want in order to facilitate a trade. So at this point, the game is over for us. So let's start over and try again. We make our choices and hit the trail. Another river comes up. This time, it's only 3 feet deep. Let's ford that again. This time we made it. But now we have a broken wagon wheel. With no AAA around, we will have to repair it ourselves. Before we get to the next fort, we come along a gravesite. Let's have a look. After visiting, we now come up to a fort. The fort is where you can resupply and talk to other travelers. They will sometimes give you some helpful insights on your travel. While we are here, let's get some supplies. We can also change the pace at which we are going and change the amount of food we are eating. So let's push on through. Grueling pace and some bare bones food before the summer heat dries up the grass. As we move along the trail, you can see that the grass has now dried up and turned a brown color. We also need some food. So let's go hunting. I think the hunting for me was the best part of the game. After a quick introduction to controls, you are ready to hunt. And that was pretty terrible. I'm usually a lot better. So let's try that again. Better this time. Now another river to cross, at 6 feet. Let's caulk the wagon and float across this time. That's usually the pretty best bet you can have. But not this time, that was a fail. No oxen this time, but Scott did die. Sorry, Scott. As we get closer to our goal, we have a choice to make. We can float down the Columbia River, which is risky but quicker, or take a toll road, which is safer but longer. Let's float down the river. So the river minigame is like the NES game Toobin. You navigate down the river and avoid objects. As you wander down, you use the arrow keys to move. If you are successful, you will reach your destination and then tally up all your points at the very end. The points include how many people are still alive, how much food you have, and other various supplies. You also get a bonus modifier depending on the occupation you chose at the very beginning of the game. If you have enough points, you can make it onto the top 10 and type your name on the leaderboard. The game does seem kinda short, but it was developed for school children to use during a period of class, which is probably typically around 45 minutes or so, as far as I remember. But at least we didn't die of dysentery. That was a thing back then, where you basically poop yourself to death. That was the Oregon Trail on the Apple IIe. If you remember playing this game on the Apple IIe or any other platform, leave a comment below about your experience. I always enjoy reading them. And if you'd like to try this game, I'll leave some links below to different emulators online that you can have a crack at the trail. So, till next time, see you on the trail, and watch the type of water you drink out there. See you guys later, and thank you for watching FBR Tech.